Welcome to a Sunny Side Up Life podcast, a show for the woman who is ready to live an abundant life full of freedom and positivity. I'm Sami and I'm on a mission to help you break free from survival mode, gain financial freedom, stay motivated, and focus on what matters most. Join the movement and let's start living on the brighter side of life together. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode. Today, I kind of want to continue on the theme of what we were talking about last week, kind of with our New Year's goals and how to really make the most of this New Year motivation, this January inspiration, and really run with it and make it something that not only we see the benefits of by the end of this year, but also in our whole life in general. So what I do is I zoom out, and I started doing this the year that I turned 30 because, all of the normal kind of depression sets in of having a big milestone birthday like that. And I thought, you know what? This is my opportunity to make my 30s the best 10 years and do my best with them. And I really thought, okay, who do I want to be when I turn 40? And how can I kind of reverse engineer and spend the next 10 years really intentionally becoming the person that I want to be, a better version of the person that I already am, right? Just living my best life, living my most aligned life, achieving goals and dreams and making things that used to be dreams into reality. And how do we make all that happen? Because we all know that I'm not going to just wake up 10 years from now. You're not going to wake up 10 years from now and just magically be the person that you want to be. It's going to take some effort. It's going to take some intentionality. It's going to take some work, but we know that the benefit will be worth it, right? We know that all of that intentionality and work is not really work. It's making our dreams become a reality. And I don't want to be one of those people that says, I wish, I hope, that would be nice, and then never actually live that reality. I don't want that to be my life. I don't want to wake up 10 years from now and think, man, I did none of the things I wanted to do. I don't want to wake up at the end of my life and have all of these regrets. So how can I be intentional with the time that I do have? How can I become that version of myself living her best life? And the really beautiful thing is what I have discovered over these past 3 years, because I've been putting this plan into motion for the last 3 years, and we'll get into exactly how to set up that plan in just a second. But the really beautiful thing that I've discovered in the past 3 years is that on the way to becoming the 10 year from now best version of yourself, it's actually really fun along the way. It's not just I have to wait 10 years to have fun, which I think is what a lot of people think when they think about goal setting, when they think about, budgeting or a health journey or any kind of intentional living journey. They think, well, it's only going to be fun and it's only going to be fruitful when I get to the end. But the really great thing about life is that when you start to live in alignment and you're like, hey, I have this destination that I'm going to, it's going to take me 10 years to get there, but I'm en route to this destination. And it's actually really fun along the way. For one, you know where you're going and you're really excited to get there. And for two, there's a lot of great scenery along the way. There's a lot of fun memories along the way. There's a lot of little pit stops that you can make along the way that are really super fun and really are even more fun and even more meaningful because I'm actually getting somewhere. Like, not only am I going on this trip right now, I know that 10 years from now, that version of me is going to be like, good for you. You did things. That's who we want to be. We want to be someone who has gone on these trips. We've traveled to XYZ place, right? We want to be the person who has the house, has the job, has the money, has the experiences, has the people in our lives, has the mental health at a great place, has the hobbies, has the friends, all these things. And that you don't just wake up 10 years from now and just magically have all of that. It's a very intentional journey to that destination. So this intentional journey, how does this start? So I've heard of several people doing this, like big name, intentional living, kind of personal development people. And so I was like, you know what the heck? Let's put this into action. Let's see if it actually works. Okay. So what I did was when I first started this, I sat down and I wrote 10 things, and I wrote them in the present tense as if 40-year-old me was sitting here telling you 10 bullet points about her life. And so here's an example. I rewrote them for several weeks until they kind of got like cemented in my head. And they changed a little from day to day because my whole point was I'm going to try to do these from memory. And then I'll flip back to yesterday and see, like, did I write down the right things? So they're a little different, but you'll get the gist of it. So number one, I'm 40 years old. I just thought, let's start with an absolute, right? Because I'm 40-year-old Sami, and I'm telling you 10 points about my life. I am happily married to my husband of 20 years, which that would be our 20-year anniversary. We got married when I was 20. We live in our beautiful, cozy East Texas home. And I got more detailed with these, as you can see. And I tried to put some adjectives in there. I tried to put some descriptive words that would make me feel good. Like I put happily married. I put our beautiful, cozy home. I get a little bit of a visual when I think of that. Number 4, we have 3 smart and strong teenage daughters. Number 5, we have over $1 million net worth. Number 6, we spend our days together as a family. This one is one of those ones that if you've ever heard me say the quote, your why is what you weep for, meaning that the reason why you do what you're doing, the reason why you're on this journey in the first place, should be powerful enough and strong enough that it makes you tear up. It makes you cry. It hits you in the soft spot of your heart, because otherwise, why are you doing this? And so for me, this number 6, we spend our days together as a family. That's what I weep for, because as most of you know, my husband works offshore and he's gone for 3 weeks at a time, home for 3 weeks. He's done this job for, I think, like 16 years or something like that, a really long time, and longer than we've even had kids. And, you know, I want to get to a point where we can have dinner together every night, where we can have morning coffee together every day, you know, things like that, that quality time. So we spend our days together as a family. Number 7, I love my job of helping women all over the world. Number 8, I spend my free time, go ahead and just buckle up for this one. I spend my free time eating, reading, swimming, and boating. And I'm going to just be real honest, like eating yummy, delicious food as part of my dream life, right? And just loving life. And that goes into so much of like this number 8, I spend my free time eating, reading, swimming, and boating. That encompasses so much to me, because eating, number 1, is telling me I have a healthy relationship with food. I have a healthy relationship with my body, and I'm enjoying life. My husband is an amazing cook, which tells me that he's home to cook more of the meals, which would be ideal. And reading is like, hey, I have luxury time to sit around and read. That's amazing. Swimming, not only is the like being outdoors part, is that in our future house, we hope to build an in-ground pool. So that means not only the free time that swimming would allow, but the fact of, hey, I'm living in my dream house. And boating, of course, if you guys know, we're on our second boat. Like that is our happy place, is on the lake, just us, the family, quiet time away from the rest of the world. And so that to me is everything. That's my heart right there. So that one little statement means so much. And so that is something, as you're writing your own, think of how can you refine these and how can you add in these little descriptive words of, instead of just saying like swimming might look surface level to some people, but to me, I know the whole story behind this. I can picture the version of me who does this in her free time and what all of that actually looks like. Number 9, I'm enjoying the what is this word? Hold on. I can't even read my own writing. I am enjoying the something. Come on, Sammy, what'd you write? I was going to see if it was on a different page. I am enjoying the success. Wow, that is a messy word. That looks really messy. I'm enjoying the success of my top-rated podcast and best-selling book. And that pretty much speaks for itself, is my career and where I hope to take my career. I am happy, grateful, and at peace with my life. That's number 10. I am happy, grateful, and at peace with my life. And when I wrote this one, I was really at the darkest place with my mental health journey. Like, I was at a kind of a breaking point where I finally was like, okay, I need help with medication. Okay, I need help with therapy. Like, I had to get, kind of get like professionals involved. It's kind of where it got a little like, all right, this is getting rough. And so I wrote that, and I was like, I have to envision a place in my life where I wake up and I feel truly happy, truly grateful, and truly at peace with my life. And I need to work towards that person, because that was not my reality at the moment when I wrote this. Although I've always kind of been I'm always happy with my life. But if you have struggled with depression, you know that you can be happy and also be depressed at the same time. And it's a very weird balance. But to me, when I wrote happy, I meant I'm at a good place with my mental health. So that's my 10. There's some that are very just cut and dry. I'm 40 years old. There's some that I could literally sit here and talk to you for an hour about and cry about because they mean so much to me in one single sentence, and everything in between. But the goal is to get the version of you in 10 years down into 10 bullet points and to write them in present tense statements. Okay, now the really tricky part, this is the part that makes them actually work. So we don't just write these 10 things in a journal and then just like put the journal on a shelf. We put these into action. So then we go in and we say, okay, I have my 10-year goals, and I have my power sheets out here, which is my goal planner that I use. I have an affiliate link to it if you're interested in checking it out. You can go to sunnysideuplife.com/powersheets. And I'm obsessed with them. This is my 6th year using them. And what I do is every year I go in and I write, the past 3 years that I've been doing this, I go in and I write bullet points of all of my 10-year goals. And I make them real short. And they've kind of changed a little over time. Like, instead of saying, where's the one? I love my job of helping women all over the world. I changed that at some point to an empire. I'm running an empire that changes lives. And it just felt more powerful. Like, it had more emotion attached to it. So I just kind of refined it a little, but it more or less means the same thing. So for one, give yourself permission to let them grow and change and, develop. And then I took, okay, how can obviously you can't just wake up one day, snap your fingers, and have an empire that changes lives. You can't just have a business that is able to have charitable donations and provide jobs for people and teach people and do all these things. It's going to take a lot of intentional work in all of the years in between and the months and the weeks in between. So I took that one bullet point and I thought, okay, how can I actually work on this a little bit this year? Okay, I can give a little more. I don't have to start out donating like $20,000 a year, but I can start out donating $100 or a couple hundred or doing a few giveaways or things like that. So I can give more. I can help more. That could be like providing free resources. That could be, educating more, making sure I'm digging into topics that actually matter, and actually making sure that my business makes a profit. So therefore my business can give back. My business can give away money. My business can provide jobs for others, can hire other people, and how this kind of perpetuates itself, right? And so we take all of these bullet points and we're like, how can we take action on them this year? A millionaire status is another good one. this is going to be the last example I'm going to give, but reach millionaire status. Some things I can do, and I wrote this in 2020. This is for my 2021. I could open an IRA, which I did. I can learn more about investing, which I did. I invested in a course. I bought a course. I started reading more books. I'm like, okay, there are small intentional actions that I can take. I can increase my income. At the time, my income was not contributing to the family budget, so I could increase that. We can just save more money. We can mess around with our investments inside of our existing investments, like what they're contributed into and things like that. So there are little steps that I can take that will get me 1 year closer to reaching that millionaire status. And so I want to encourage you, as maybe you've already set your New Year goals, maybe you're completely done, or maybe you're still working on them. I'm honestly still working on mine. I want to encourage you to go in and envision who you want to be in 10 years. I want you to write some bullet points about her life. You can always go back and kind of edit them, scratch through them, change some words, refine them. It's okay. Do kind of a brain dump in your journal, in the notes app on your phone, whatever you need to do, and go back and refine it. And I want these 10 points to be enough that you could literally close your eyes and paint a picture of who she is. You see her, you know how she feels, you know what her life looks like, you know what she does in her free time, you know what kind of food she eats, you know how she dresses, you know how she spends her free time, you know where she goes on vacation, where she lives, where she works. Like, what is she doing? What would 10 years from now, you living your best life look like? And how can you spend the next 10 years intentionally working to make that happen? And bonus, it is going to be really fun along the way. You don't have to wait 10 years to enjoy this life. You're going to start to see her coming to fruition, and you are going to start to see her coming to life right now. And it's going to be a really, really awesome journey along the way. So I hope that inspires you as you're working on your New Year goals. That is all for me this week. I will talk to you guys next week. Bye, guys. Thanks for hanging out for another episode of a Sunny Side Up Life podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend, because you never know who needs to hear this message. If you haven't already, please leave a review and subscribe. Reviews and subscribers are what help the podcast grow and what help new ladies find our community. And again, thanks for hitting play on this episode and for investing some time in yourself today. Remember that I'm always here to support you, and I'm always cheering you on along the way. Don't forget that everything that we mentioned in this episode will be linked in the show notes. All right, that's all for me this week. Bye, guys.